piece is we have our awards we would like to present. Our first recipient is Dr. Edward or Ted Madsen, who's receiving the Marty Palmer Award for Service to Children for his nearly 5 decades providing pediatric care in rural Utah. Often as the only pediatrician serving several communities, Dr. Madsen did his undergraduate studies at Weber State College, attended the University of Utah for medical school, and completed his internship and pediatric residency at the at the Medical Center Hospital of Vermont. And he started practice in Price in Utah in 1977, and has practiced as a solo practitioner since then, providing care for children around eastern Utah. He served as a hospital chief of staff and been the head of pediatrics since his arrival at Price. He is married to the former Sharon Blair of Ogden, Utah. They have 6 children and 13 grandchildren. Hang on one second, I'm trying to hold too many things at once. Or if I can get this in, it's not focusing. It doesn't like it. It won't focus on my award, but I'd like to say congratulations and welcome, Dr. Madsen.
Are you there?
Yeah.
It works?
There we go.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate this opportunity. It was last week, and I was with a patient in an exam room, and the door opened slightly, and my nurse whispered that she wanted me to come into the hall because there was a phone call about a virtual Dr. Marty Palmer. And when you're in a busy day and you get a message about somebody who you know had passed away a while ago, it kind of catches you off guard. And so I think I asked her to take a message. But after the office settled down for just a bit, she told me that this was actually about a virtual award being presented by Dr. Palmer. I still was a little bit confused. And I hadn't thought about Dr. Palmer for a long time. I didn't know him directly. I knew of him. And I was impressed with his down-to-earth manner. And I felt that he represented what was, to me, the ideal pediatrician. My brother, Dr. Jack Madsen, who was one of his colleagues at the university, knew him very well. Well, as the day progressed, and I realized what this was all about, it all started to become somewhat overwhelming. And I was starting to have flashbacks about medical school, about going to the University of Vermont, and then coming to Price for the next 40 years as a solo pediatrician. Others have come and gone on to better things. In fact, Dr. Brian Stone and Dr. Daniel Garvin are both staff members at Primary Children's, and they stopped by Price along the way. As all of this crossed my mind, I really realized that this was a really cool award that I was being given. But the flashbacks reminded me that it's not something that you do on your own. I have so many people to thank for helping me along the way, and of course, number one has to be my wife, Sharon. She's always stood by me, and we've been best friends all along the way. I have to thank my children for the fun times we've had, their children, my grandchildren, for the lessons and the examples they've been to me. And I remember back when Sharon and I first came to Price, we were walking into our little rented apartment, and the phone rang, and it was from somebody at Price Hospital, a place that I really didn't know much about. And they said they had a newborn baby that was having a hard time breathing, was very tiny, and they had a mother who was early in her pregnancy and was about to deliver, and they asked if I could come and help. And when I arrived at the hospital, I found a baby bird ventilator in the closet, asked them if they had ever used it, and they said they had once, but it didn't work. And so we took it out, and for the next 6 hours, we worked with these 2 babies. The transport system in Utah at the time was in its infancy, but they came through, picked up the babies, took them to Primary Children's, and today, baby number 1 is a grandmother in Price, and baby number 2 was born to a couple from Chicago who were students and were visiting in Price. Years later, I was in Ogden visiting my parents at their condominium, And the father of this baby was visiting his parents at the same condominium. We ran into each other. And this little girl was now in high school, doing well, and preparing for college. So I really appreciate Lana and Belle, the two nurses who helped me that day, and the staff who have helped me over the years, the office staff who's always had my back, and a very special person, Craig Humes, a PA, who's worked with me over the years. Probably the biggest lesson I've learned as a practicing pediatrician is that we have a real opportunity to help children enjoy their lives, but we don't do it alone. I'm very thankful for receiving this award, and it's my hope that I will continue to be worthy of its expectations, and I would just like to say thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you for all of your work. Our next recipient is Dr. Fran Few.